2 days ago, I saw a video made by my buddy Rob Storm where he says in the title of it, I'm going by street what the title says, because the title is very deceptive of what the actual video is, that Black Widow was a flop. And I agree 1010% that it was a flop. And this is why.
Here we go.
And here I go. Just like Mr. Ledger, my favorite Joker, he says it best. Here we go. Now, if this is the first time you're viewing my channel, please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell. Please give me that thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. I don't know how. Don't make me lie. All I know is it just does. Please leave a comment because I read all my comments. I do get back to you. I will get back to you. Now, I had to really research. I want to make sure I'm spot on accurate with what I'm going to say. My buddy Rob Storm over from Storm's Live made a video a couple days ago. It looked kind of like this. The title of his video was this. I'm going to pull it up for you to make sure. Black Widow, Marvel's first flop. I truly believe this is Marvel's first flop. And I'm going to explain to you why. Now, if you watch the video, very good video, very thorough. Information just not right. I see it. This is my point of view. This is my spin on it. He said, in particular, he called out 3 movies. Well, first of all, he called out Black Widow. I think Black Widow made about $300-something million, 325, I think, somewhere in that ballpark, 325, 370. And I said that it was a dud. And before we get into, let's get the definition of dud. I want to make sure that everything is correct. Not working or meeting standards, faulty. That is the definition of dud. Not working or meeting standards. All right, keep that in mind. That's very important. Flop, the definition of flop is a total failure. Now, I never said it was a flop because it wasn't a total failure. Just because it's Marvel, it's going to make some money, it's going to generate some money, it's going to do things other movies can't do. So I'm not going to say it's a flop, but I'm going to stick to my original description, which is more accurate. It says it was a dud. It's not working or meeting standards. Now, we are accustomed to Marvel movies making a certain amount of money, even if they are considered duds or flops. And this movie just didn't do it. To me, it didn't capture my attention. It didn't have an oh shit moment. Maybe had one when I saw Taskmaster, kind of, sort of, okay, I'll give you that. For the most part, nothing else really excited me. Now, he used 3 movies in particular that said, and his premise of saying it was a flop was that there was 3 movies prior to this movie that made less. 3 movies was Incredible Hulk, which came out in June of 2008. It made $264 million. He used Thor 1, which came out in May of 2011, which made $449, slightly more than what Black Widow made, but still, according to his argument, was considered a flop if we're looking at numbers. And he said the first Captain America made $370 million, which is about the same thing. So his argument was this is not the first flop, that movies prior to Black Widow that Kevin Feige produced and had his hands in didn't make that kind of money. So he's saying this is not the first flop. Okay. My argument that this is a flop because of this particular nugget I'm going to put in. Okay. Do we know, have we ever heard of this word here? Learning curve. The rate of a person's progress in getting experience or new skills. Read that for you again, ladies and boys that's watching. A rate of a person's progress in gaining experience or new skills. Now, Kevin Feige came into MCU world in 2007. His first 5 movies was Iron Man, which came out in 2008. He made $585 million. Incredible Hulk came out a month later in June. Made $264 million. Not so good. Iron Man 2 came out because he knew he was doing good with Iron Man. He said, let's do another Iron Man 2. It came out May of 2010, 2 years later, made $623 million. He did Thor 1, not so good, according to our argument, kind of dudish. It came out May of 2011, a year later. It made $449 million. Then Captain America was his third. Well, no, that was his fourth. His fourth superhero character he tried to crack at was Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Thor, now Captain America. Came out July 2011, a month after Thor. It made $370 million. That is Mr. Feige's learning curve. Once he got past that learning curve, no other movie made less than that. Avengers made $1.5 billion. Iron Man 3 made $1.2 billion. Thor 2 made $664 million. Winter Soldier made $714 million. Guardians of the Galaxy made $772 million. Age of Ultron made $1.4 billion. Autumn Ant-Man made $519 million. Civil War, $1.1 billion. And the numbers keep going up because by that time, Mr. Feige, those first 5 movies was his learning curve. Once he hit that learning curve, there was no other movie that he made that made under $500 million. And we have all argued, Robert Storm, myself included, Anzo, other people, that just by putting Marvel Studios on there, you're going to automatically make $500 million. We've all said that. You can pull the tape and see it. This movie, according to what we've seen and grown accustomed to, is considered a dud because once Kevin Feige figured out the formula and got past his learning curve, he did not make movies making that low. And I know some people are going to say it's going to be part of the COVID and all that kind of stuff. Still, I think COVID had something to do with it, but it was this story just was not good. It wasn't compelling. It was not needed. Should have wrote a better story. Should have slided in the lineup earlier. This movie, and this doesn't make him a bad person because, as I've said in other videos, Kevin Feige is a super genius. He's the man. Just one dud that he had on his resume does not stop him from being a super genius. Now, I know Rob will say, well, he will argue some kind of way, but I'm going to use this as an example. Michael Jordan, considered the GOAT, the greatest of all times, the greatest human to ever pick a basketball up and shoot it, dribble it, pass it, whatever you want to say. He is considered the best, the gold standard. It took him 7 years to learn the NBA. 7 years after he learned his learning curve, guess what? He went on to win 2 consecutive three-peats. Nobody else has done that. Michael Jordan won 2 consecutive three-peats. My argument is that once he learned the layout of the NBA, once he got past his learning curve, he didn't do mediocre stuff anymore until he retired. Now, his one mediocre thing he did was, and what we can classify as a dud, is when he went to the Washington Wizards. That was his dud. The same way Kevin Feige had this dud a few weeks ago by making Black Widow. Even the best of us, even the greatest, even the super genius can have duds, have a bad day. Black Widow is Kevin Feige's dud, just like going to Washington and playing for the Wizards. What he did was Michael Jordan's dud. He should have stopped when he was on top. Now, I'm not saying Kevin Feige needs to be on top. I'm just saying that this was his dud. Everybody, even the greatest of us, have a bad game, have a bad movie. But I'm just saying, based on what we've seen, based on what Kevin Feige has produced, has his hands in, his learning curve was those first 5 movies that I named: Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America. That was his learning curve. Once he learned the layout, got the formula, the MCU formula, he never made a movie less than $500 million. Never. This is his first movie after making under $500 million was Black Widow. So I let him pull all the numbers. All the numbers. No movie made under after Captain America, which made $370 million. He never made another movie that hit 300. Always a half a million or greater. The lowest movie he made once he hit his stride was Ant-Man. It was $519 million. Even Ant-Man 2 was $622 million. So you want to say there's not popular characters or whatever, but the stories was compelling. Black Widow's story was not compelling. You can say what you want. I'm just telling you, don't hate the player, don't hate the game. These are the facts of the matter. His learning curve, Kevin Feige's learning curve, those first 5 movies. Once he got his learning curve, he didn't make subpar movies. He didn't make these crazy movies. Some people may not like it, whatever, but talking about making the bucks, putting the butts in the seats. He never made a movie under $500 million. He just didn't. So Black Widow made the 325, 75, whatever it is. That is in my opinion, that is a dud based on what we've seen, based on his skill set. Just to say it one more time, to define what a dud is: not working or meeting meeting standards, faulty. Black Widow just did not meet standards based on what we've seen from the past MCU movies. So I hate to say it, but it is what it is. Those are the facts. So, Mr. Storm, those are shots fired. And for that, you get this little gift from me to you. So, show me what you got, boy. That's my argument. I'm going to stick with it. I think my argument is strong. So, like I said, if you have not subscribed to me, please subscribe. Please hit notification bell. Please give me that thumbs up. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. Don't make me lie and tell you how. All I know that it does. And till next time, catch you later. Peace.